In our first episode, we mentioned briefly how one of the main reasons some people play games is for a sense of community. Humans have always been drawn to spaces that allow them to rest, recharge, and hang out with others. Some people might find that at the mall, in a coffee shop, at the pool, or at church. But as more and more of our lives today are lived digitally, the need for that kind of space is now often met by video games. And that brings up an important question, one that we want you to discuss. Can video games provide a real sense of community?
Traditionally, games have always been played in groups, and when games shifted into the digital space, this actually didn't change that much. Yes, single-player games became more common and popular after this shift, but the most popular, most long-standing games often involve a community generated inside the game itself. What made Fortnite so successful in recent years was the same thing that made World of Warcraft so successful in 2004. They were designed to be played with others online, and the games generated and created a space for this. Even the earliest of video games had some multiplayer built in, or were specifically designed for competition or cooperation with other people.
And even single-player games inspire community in some fashion, because as long as people have been playing games, they've been talking about them. Now, with the popularity of streaming, even single-player experiences can resemble a community event.
As you can see, the meeple is complete. It's old, I put some tape on it. It's clean now. I got so many comments saying that I should put the bees in there. So I prepared that a little bit. We're gonna do that today. That's the main goal. I wanna get honey. That's all I want.
Maybe some of you have wondered, why would anyone watch other people play video games? It's a good question, but the answer is often the same as, why would anyone watch other people play football? Maybe it's because they enjoy the game themselves, or because they've kept up with the streamers and know their stories. Or sometimes it might be because it's just really entertaining.
Uh-oh.
We're good. Stop.
Forgot to put the parking brake on.
All right, we'll park this here. Okay. Hey.
So this is satisfactory.
Journalist Adam Epstein describes some of the appeal of streaming this way. It's the bizarre intimacy, the unmatched access you have to these people. Viewers can interact with them in real time, like they're your actual friend hanging out with you at home. It's a virtual hangout session. Streamer Tim the Tatman has a great example of this intimacy.
I love my son. He's a little bit ugly, but I really think he is cute. I really do. You see this, bud? This is work. You're at work right now. He's so sleepy. So this is Brewer chat, obviously. It's hard to explain, dude. I can't put to words what it's like.
Now, some could argue that this kind of community is mainly one way. Others argue that online, we lose some of the vulnerability that makes community matter. But the fact remains, games inspire people to come together, whether it be to discuss strategies, compare notes, or just simply hear another person's voice. These people are coming together because they're invested in something, and they want to be around other people who are invested in those same things. And we all do this. We all look for community around the things that we care about. Pause for a moment and process this. What are you invested in? Tell the person next to you.
further extension of the community around games was the grassroots movement of competitive gaming. Competition has been present within games from the very beginning. Originally, it was the arcades that brought players together to test their skill and mental fortitude against one another. Now, thanks to the internet and the popularity of streaming, competitive gaming, or esports as the community dubbed it, has turned into a juggernaut in its own right. Every year, thousands of fans flock to fill arenas usually reserved for the likes of Coldplay or Post Malone. They come to watch games played competitively for prize pools up to $35 million. Even more spectators tune in online, with online spectators reaching numbers of up to 40 million.
Again, you might be wondering why someone would watch games played competitively. The reasons will feel familiar. For example, Rocket League, or car soccer as fans lovingly call it, has a lot in common with actual soccer and shares in its ability to create hype and tense moments for casual viewers and dedicated fans alike.
15 seconds remaining for Vitality. G2, another shot off the post. JF can't do it. Rizzo gets bodied out of the way. They have to get out of their own half. K-Dot, he tries. Rizzo at least slows him down. JF can't stop him there. Around the corner, Chicago, it bounces off the rim. Scrub, he grabs the ball. Had he out to kill it. JNAPS blows it downfield. Fairy Peak, midfield. He's under one. Fairy Peak carrying this to K-Dot. Into the back wall. Scrub, Killer scores. 0 seconds. Unbelievable.
A game like Overwatch, with its corresponding professional league, doesn't have a perfect analog to a physical sport, but it is still built on impressive teamwork and player heroics.
Then there are games like Dota 2 and League of Legends, which are complicated, possessing unparalleled strategic depth. These games require investment, and as the community invests in the game, then the developers, in turn, invest in the community, bolstering it with updates to keep the game feeling fresh and exciting.
And this is what makes esports truly unique. All competition will have its fans, and by extension, some form of community. But in esports, the community is a driving force that decides what is played and how it is played. Popular and successful esports host Paul Red-Eye Shaloner explains it this way.
To me, an esport is, nobody's the keeper of this, right? Yeah. It's everyone's opinion, but my opinion is that the definition of esports is that it's a competitive video game played competitively by a large community. So define large community, I guess, is the next question, and that's hard to do, but I think FIFA is an esport. A lot of people would disagree with me. I think Vainglory is an esport. Clash Royale is an esport. Is Mario Kart an esport?
Is it played competitively on a league?
If ESL suddenly start running a $50,000 Mario Kart championship, is that an esport?
I would say yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think it goes back to my original point of the community usually decide whether a game becomes an esport, and the organizers then decide how big that esport is by adopting it for a tournament because they know they can make money from it, or they know they can get the sponsors to sponsor it.
So an esport is the extension of the community already growing around a particular game. The community decides what games get turned into esports, and to a certain extent, how those games are played. It truly is a community. You can post in a Discord full of fellow fans, or watch the most recent developer update, or even tune into the stream of a pro, ask them a question, and see how they play.
Imagine if Charles Barkley reacted to a dumb meme you posted in chat, or if Lionel Messi streamed his daily drills and chatted with you while he practiced. All of this will more than likely shift in future years as esports become more marketable and more mainstream. But right now, for a brief moment, esports are a strange mixture of grassroots community and high-level production and competition.
But is the kind of community games provide really enough? Well, it depends on what the goal of that community is. So we're going to give you another minute to discuss that. What is the purpose of community? Community is good for us. It can provide lifelong companionship and is generally centered around mutual interests. Basketball, quilting, coffee, book clubs, and even, yes, video games. Community allows us to better enjoy our lives with the people around us. But humans need more than just people to have fun with. We need to be seen, known, and loved. We need safe spaces to be vulnerable. We need communitas.
Communitas is a more involved form of community that isn't necessarily organized around mutual interests. It is formed by something bigger and better. An ideal, a movement, or maybe even a gospel. The Church of Jesus should be the premier example of communitas, and it should provide a space to be loved and known, challenged and grown. We are called to enjoy and celebrate the lives given to us, and we are also called to be transformed by the renewing of our mind, to become more like Jesus. Consequently, most high-quality communitas happens in person, but we still need both community and communitas. So how can we know whether we have both? Here's a simple question that can help you answer that. Is your community making you a better person?
There's a lot to explore there, but we're going to leave that part up to you. So far, we've been primarily focused on the social aspect of games and how they affect our relationships. But what about how they affect us as individuals, both for better and for worse? In the next 2 episodes, we're going to discuss exactly that.